Lesson 290. My present happiness is all I see. Welcome to the Qigong Support for A Course in Miracles students. My name is Judith and this is the Lucid Mind Center. Today I'm inviting you to the reading of today's lesson in front of my favorite sea, in front of my favorite coast. We are in Brella as well as yesterday. I have recorded lesson number 5 about a year ago on a similar balcony just 2 kilometers down the road. And this particular lesson yesterday and today's lesson is kind of everything coming together into a unit ready for us to see the real world as of tomorrow. And the reason this is called Qigong Support, because after reading and contemplating this lesson together with you, I will guide you to a Qigong class which is specially suited for internalizing and understanding this lesson with the Qigong methods. Let's begin reading our lesson together. Lesson 290. My present happiness is all I see. Unless I look upon what is not there, my present happiness is all I see. So when we see clearly, when we just actually appreciate the beauty of nature, and there are some places it's very easy. Here it's easy. When we actually see and appreciate this, the beauty of nature, the beauty of creation, then we enter into a present happiness. And for some reason we're always excluding these natural states of happiness which we get when we're having when we are actually in awe at creation. We exclude them. Well, it's got nothing to do with God. 2 days ago I was in Medjugorje, which is actually quite an impressive viewpoint of the area, with the sun and the clouds and the forest there. And people didn't even see it. It's the truth. When you sneeze, it's the truth. People didn't even see it. They didn't even look up. What they were doing is, as they were walking up, they were chanting the Ave Maria and the Father, Our Father. I don't know what it's called in English. So they were chanting those Christian chants and looking down and like atoning for the sins they have done or praying for some miracle. While at not one time actually kind of just stopping and looking around and noticing the miracle which was around them. Noticing that it was amazing. Not smiling. They were all kind of pretend sad, instead of actually smiling, being in awe. Like those 6 kids which actually had the apparition, they were in awe. They were like looking at some light, or the Mother Mary, and they were full of joy. They didn't believe that they were entitled to have this joy. It was very interesting for me to see. So let's read what our lesson tells us. My present happiness is all I see. Unless I look upon what is not there, my present happiness is all I see. Eyes that begin to open see at last. And I would have Christ's vision come to me this very day. Go out today and find a beautiful spot and look at everything with Christ's vision. What I perceive without God's own correction for the sight I made is frightening and painful to behold. Again, taking those people in Medjugorje, they believe that they have to be in this kind of a state of repentive state. And by having guilt on mind and repentiveness, they're not allowing themselves to feel joyful. So there is a whole, my husband and my 2 children who are not religious, they felt it was kind of sect-like. And that's what we have a tendency to do. We have a tendency to turn to the darkness, to go put ourselves back into that black room without light. And we don't want to do that. Eyes that begin to open see at last, and I would have Christ's vision come to me this very day. What I perceive without God's own correction for the sight I made is frightening and painful to behold. Yet I would not allow my mind to be deceived by the belief the dream I made is real an instant longer. I will not allow that. I choose the way I look at the world. You choose the way you look at the world. And it's a question of training. That's what we're doing here. It's a question of training, of looking the way you want to look and see the world. And as you're training it, you will not want to be in places where the energy is too hard. You will look for different areas to be. This is where the subtle change will happen. If you're going to a market and there's a lot of stuff going on, maybe you're going to go to the edge, to a stall where there's not so much going on, and buy your fruits and vegetables there. If you will enjoy peace more as you're enjoying that communion with your higher self, with being with yourself, that peace within, because it's difficult to feel the peace within sometimes when there is a lot of noise going on around you. But it's not because of the noise, it's because of the meaning you're putting on the noise. Our job is to go where we are called to go and spread the light, be the light, without having to brag about it and telling anybody about it, just simply being it. What I perceive without God's own correction for the sight I made is frightening and painful to behold. Yet I would not allow my mind to be deceived by the belief the dream I made is real an instant longer. This day I seek my present happiness and look on nothing else except the thing I seek. And the prayer goes like this. With this resolve I come to you and ask your strength to hold me up today while I but do your will. You cannot fail to hear me, Father. What I ask have you already given me, and I am sure that I will see my happiness today. I love this lesson. And altogether those last 4 lessons, they were very, very meaningful for me. It's because each one of them I recorded in a very meaningful spot for me. And you got to trust your higher self. You got to trust the guidance of this Holy Spirit. Remembering that the Holy Spirit is the one which is within Christ, and Christ is within the mind of God. And the Holy Spirit is mediating between what is happening on this earth, what you're perceiving on this earth, and the inspiration you're receiving from above, if you will, from without, outside of this perception. Just reminding you that your central channel is the connection to this energy which is beyond your perception. And what you want to do is you want to project the real world onto what you're seeing here. And you can do this with remembering who you truly are, with using the central channel, understanding that this is your holy channel. And when you are aligning with this holiness in the very morning, then it's very easy to project the real world outwards. But if you forget, or if you don't have the time, then it can be more tricky. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. It is a journey. You are joining me in my journey. This was a very, very special journey to arrive to this day. Because I started recording the very first lessons in Croatia, on the island Pashman, where my cousins have their properties, where my cousins live and my aunt lives. And it started, my journey of recording the Course in Miracles started there, but the preparation for it all started 3 years ago, when I was made ready to do what I'm gonna do now. And I don't even know what it is, but I know that I've been made ready. So in the Qigong meditation, whether do the seated or standing meditation, I'm going to ask you to read the idea, my present happiness is all I see. And I'm going to ask you to read the prayer. It doesn't matter if you do the one which I'm assigning to you, or you do other Qigong classes, or you do even a meditation, a different, or maybe do yoga, or you go for a walk. Just remember to read this idea. My present happiness is all I see. And the prayer. Remembering that what we want to see is the beauty, the real world. And we're going to practice that as well now for the next 10 days. Let's read the lesson again with this in mind. Unless I look upon what is not there, my present happiness is all I see. Look around you. And let your eyes fall on everything you see which makes you happy. And then look at the other thing with that happiness activated, that suddenly the whole world looks more beautiful. Eyes that begin to open see at last. And I would have Christ's vision come to me this very day. What I perceive without God's own correction for the sight I made is frightening and painful to behold. Yet I would not allow my mind to be deceived by the belief the dream I made is real an instant longer. This day I seek my present happiness and look on nothing else except the thing I seek. And the prayer goes like this. With this resolve, I come to you and ask your strength to hold me up today while I but do your will. You cannot fail to hear me, Father. What I ask have you already given me, and I am sure that I will see my happiness today. I see my happiness already today. But then again, it is very easy to see my happiness at this moment in time. I've been traveling for 6 weeks and all to arrive to this. And this is symbolical that I've been traveling for 3 years, all to arrive to this understanding. For this particular Course in Miracle lesson, I'm inviting you to this Qigong meditation, this standing Qigong meditation. Here, I invite you to read one more time with me, what is the Holy Spirit? And here you have a list of classes, if you would like to do another one. Love, light and chi to you.